Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Young Turks. I'm Shireen Bhan. Today we hit refresh and launch a brand new avatar of India's longest running show on startups and entrepreneurship. It has been exciting and gratifying for us to chronicle the story of India's startup universe. Over the last 19 years, Indian startups have come of age and Young Turks has been witness to the changes. We start a fresh decade in a milestone year of IPOs and big deals, and we look forward to telling more startup stories and building a robust community of founders, investors and mentors. I would like to thank the very creative and cool team at Chumbak, our very own Young Turk, for designing this new look of the show. So thanks from all of us here on the team to the team at Chumbak for this refreshed version of Young Turks. We are talking of startups coming of age, and over the last 6 months, we've seen the M&A action in the startup space gather pace and aggression. Large groups like the Tatas and Reliance have been buying tech platforms in a bid to own a pie of India's rapidly expanding digital economy. Now, while it's normal to see large conglomerates acquiring startups, the tables are turning, or so it seems. Over the last 10 days, we've seen 2 startups hit it big and target legacy businesses. 6-year-old health tech unicorn PharmEasy acquired diagnostic company theyve, a first-of-its-kind takeover of a publicly listed company by a startup. This is, of course, a transaction in the making. And 3-year-old merchant commerce platform BharatPe and Centrum have combined hands and got the RBI approval for a small finance bank and are all set to take over PMC Bank. It now looks like the theyves are going for the Goliaths. Joining me now are the co-founders of these ambitious startups, Ashneer, the co-founder and CEO of BharatPe, and Siddharth Shah, the co-founder and CEO at PharmEasy. Gentlemen, welcome to Young Turks. Congratulations. Let me start by talking to the two of you on the audacity of the decisions that you've decided to take. And Siddharth, you know, this came out of nowhere. While we are seeing, as we've just pointed out, the likes of Reliance and Tatas make acquisitions in the startup space, for you to go out there and actually make a play for a listed entity, I mean, this came out of nowhere. When did you start talking to Mr. Velumani?
I think it's been a fabulous, short and decisive journey for us. We actually spoke to, the first time that I actually spoke to Dr. Velumani was, I think if I'm not wrong, on the 26th of May 2021. And we signed the deal on 25th of June 2021. So it was actually just done in record 29 days. We signed the NDA only on 10th of July or thereabouts, right? So on the 10th of July, we jokingly said, and we were speaking with Dr. Velumani, that can we go ahead and complete this deal in a span of less than a month? And then we, you know, and that's what he was requesting, that, hey, why don't we get this done in a month? And we said, you know, if all goes well, we'll complete before 30th of June. And, you know, lo and behold, we actually completed by 25th of June. So we're very excited about how this came about. And I think it came because we had done a ton of diligence on getting into the diagnostic space for a very long period of time. Our board was very, very encouraging. And I think we had shareholders that were willing to back our vision very rapidly. So all of it came together and we got this done.
Did that make it easier? I mean, the ambition, I understand the ambition to want to get into the diagnostics business too, but to get into the diagnostics business via this route of taking over a listed entity, was it what helped take that decision? Was it the fact that you actually had investors who were willing to put the money down? Did that make this audacious dream possible?
I think it was driven by 3 things. One, I think the pure business logic of what we were doing. We'd been doing the diagnostic business for well over 12 to 18 months now, and our pilots were exceedingly successful. So we built up actually a 75 crore net revenue diagnostics business in just 1 year without any kind of COVID revenues. Right, without anything for RT-PCR and so on and so forth, which was quite substantial. And we saw that the consumer delight, we saw that the consumer retention, and more importantly, closing out our vision of getting holistic healthcare across information, consultation, test and treatment to everybody across the length and breadth of the country was falling in place with this, right? So I think the business logic was there. Most importantly, the consumer insights and the consumer delight was there. And then at the last end, it came about, you know, getting the capital in place. So as you know, we've been raising capital since April of this year, and we'd already raised a bunch of capital that was lying on the balance sheet. And then we had to top it up with some more. And we had shareholders who were absolutely willing to back our vision.
I want to address this issue of vision, and I don't know if this is true or not, but tell me if it is. Siddharth, I believe that you, along with your co-founders, call yourself the Ghatgobar Gujju Gang. Now, did the Ghatgobar Gujju Gang actually envision the possibility of being able to do something like that, to pull off a deal like this?
I think we always had a dream. I don't think, and this dream goes back a very, very long way, right? In fact, goes way back to 2012, when under Professor Anil Gupta at IIM Ahmedabad, I had done a project to launch what in our mind at that time was the first online pharmacy in India. We called it Dial Health, and we called it the Health Exchange, right? And it was like a telephone exchange that we had formed, where everything that was to do in healthcare would come and kind of revolve around for the consumer, right? So from doctors, patients, tests, OTC products, everything was there. So in some ways, we had a dream way back in 2012. That dream could not be fulfilled in 2015 because we failed a couple of times. Or a smart thing would be to say we pivoted a couple of times from 2012 to 2015. And obviously, since 2015, there's been no looking back. So we always had the dream. We always had the ambition. I think this is the right opportunity where everything fell into place.
And that Ghatgobar Gujju Gang is actually true, is it? That's what you call yourselves?
It is. Absolutely, right? I think a lot of people, used to call us, the Ghatgobar Gujjus, and, a lot of people across town and so on and so forth, they look at Ghatgobar as a suburb, saying, "Arey, you know what, it's a very Gujju area. How do you guys live up to this?" But I think the Ghatgobar Gujjus have made everybody proud, right? Our families are proud of what we're doing. Our community is proud of what we are doing. So, and we wear it like a badge of honor, right? I mean, we are proud of the fact that we are Gujjus from Ghatgobar, and, we are very happy about it.
As you should be, and I think your father would probably be the proudest today, given the fact that he actually was the one who set things off rolling for you with the money that he provided, which was really the seed capital. But Ashneer, thanks very much for joining us here on Young Turks, and I want to start my conversation by asking you exactly that. I mean, you're the CFO at Grofer to 2017. Cut to the fact that you're now talking about a small finance bank. You combine hands with Centrum to go after PMC Bank. I mean, where did this start? How did you put this all together?
I think, thanks again for having me on the show. So what we are seeing is a culmination of a lot of years and a lot of experiences as such. If you ask me whether I thought I'd be sitting here on this day with the in principle approval for a banking license, no, I hadn't thought it through. You can call it lack of vision or just lack of imagination, that's fine. But in a sense, I was always clear that what we were trying to do for the small merchant was banking as a service, right? And if you are a fintech, want to take on the established banks and the incumbents as a challenger bank, the least you can do or need to do is to be a bank yourself first, right? So I think in that sense, it's a great place to start, but a lot of hard work in front of us now. We've got what we could have wished for, but now it's up to us to execute and make it happen.
That's interesting, as you point out, that if and the expectation or the assumption